got a
And then
few
we'll
questions. I guess whoever can answer this is what is the difference between the cell towers that other phone companies use now and these 5G towers and on poles that is proposed to go in place? Um, because the cell phone towers can make the reception a lot better than they used to be. So I don't know if somebody want to answer that question. What is the difference between the new towers that's coming up now and the towers that exist in that other phone and cable company use now that allow us to be in different part of the state and get good communication, whether it be hotspot or whatever. So what is the difference between what this new company want to do and the one that already exists? I mean, because I'm looking at the old company, they're going from 1G up to 8Gs. So, uh, could anybody tell me what's the difference?
Well, Kent Chamberlain.
Representative Adams. Sorry, just Representative Adams. I think. Thank you for that question. Just as for some process moving forward, if any of the invited guests feel like they know the answer to a question that wasn't directed directly to them, please just raise your hand, and then we can call on you. Then I think I heard Mr. Chamberlain start speaking, so go ahead, Mr. Chamberlain.
All right. It sounds like you're asking the difference between 4G and 5G. And it turns out there's not a quantum difference, not a clear difference, because 5G is really a marketing term. A company can put a small 4G facility on a tower, on a short tower, and call it a small cell. And they can call it 5G if they want to. So right now, it seems like the main difference is between 4G and 5G, but what 5G allows is it allows operation at higher frequencies, and it also has what's called a steered beam. And that means it's kind of like a flashlight beam that with 4G antennas, they're aimed at a particular location. They give coverage in a particular sector. But with 5G, it can move that beam around electronically to establish better communication. So it provides greater radiation, but it does provide more directed communication. I'm not sure if I answered your question. It would be one of those situations where if we sat down with a piece of paper, I could show you to a better degree. But the steered beam, the higher frequencies, is the main difference between the 4G that we typically know about and the 5G.
Okay, I guess pigtailing on that. Well, I'm looking at a lot of the larger company. They talking about going to like 1G to 8G. So what do that consider? So do the other company, the bigger companies, they're going to use a larger beam so that the communication can go quicker to be able to go all the way to 8Gs?
Well, at this point, 8G hasn't rolled out yet. They're only talking about 6G. So
Okay.
unless you've seen some advertising that I'm not aware of, we only have 4G. I mean, actually 3G is being phased out. We have 4G and 5G. But what it would mean would be not a bigger beam, but a more directive beam, a narrower beam, just like a pinpoint flashlight, that you would be able to aim exactly at the particular user who's demanding or asking for services. So for right now, that's what I know to be the case.
Okay. My next question is, I remember when these older phone towers would put up in neighborhoods, and some of the same concerns was brought forward. But as the towers was installed and communities got better phone and laptop reception, most communities accept the towers being up because neighborhoods got better reception. They even accept them going on top of buildings. So do we um, look at the past and say what's going on now is going to be the same? That once the community can go anywhere and tap on their phone or stop in a parking lot and get reception for their laptop, just frequency would be accepted by the community?
Well, others may want to chime in on this, but from what I've seen, people do sometimes, or it seems like they're willing to trade health concerns for better connectivity. I personally, as a parent and as somebody who cares about my community, don't feel like that's a good trade-off, because the better the reception, the stronger the signal, the more you are jeopardizing your health. It just comes down to that, in my opinion. And the commission felt the same way, is that you can get good connectivity at a very weak signal. And I can talk more about that and give you exact numbers, but it basically 1/1000th of the FCC standard, you can have a robust 4-bar phone conversation. So it's really a question of where you place the antennas. You can do this, and I'm saying this as somebody who's studied electromagnetics my whole career. So by proper placement of antennas, you can provide robust coverage without exposing people to excessive radiation.
Okay, and my last question. My last question.
Representative Adams, I'm just going to interrupt you because I do see some of the other panelists had their hands raised, I think, to your first question. So if we would like to go to Ms. Scarrato, I believe that you have your hand raised.
I just wanted to say briefly that some of the solutions lie with research and design with the companies, just like Kent Chamberlain was talking about. I mean, there are ways to design networks, not only with lower radiation, but also to use safer technology overall to and through the home, wired and corded connections. And all of that really requires that we just rethink the whole situation with health and environment in mind, at the center, in the ecosystems, at the center of the decision making. And then it can go out from there. How do we design networks in safer ways? Does everything have to be wireless all the time? It does not. And one of the things that companies are doing is having this fixed wireless. So they're making it so that our home modems now are connecting to a cell tower outside, even in communities where there actually is the availability of service, fast service, which could come in through a corded connection. So I think the bigger picture is that companies can do better, and we can work hand in hand with companies to have safer technologies.
Thank you. And Mr. Brown, go ahead.
Chairman Bucas, can I ask you a question, a point of information?